ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
The LouieTeeNetwork is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Saturday Night Football overtime. Week 18 winner. I don't want to say takes all edition because Bucs still need some help, but they got it done. NFC South family business style. You know how the family do it. Bucs, Panthers, Week 18, massive playoff implications. Carolina simply needed to win, and they were in as NFC South champions, would host a wild card playoff game as the 4 seed in the NFC. A loss, however, would leave the door slightly ajar for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now 8-9, who would also need an Atlanta Falcons victory, or excuse me, which one is it? Which one is it? Is it the Saints they need to win? Let's see. Schefter just tweeted it out. Here it is. Tampa Bay needs Atlanta to beat the Saints. That's right. So they need Kirk Cousins to... Tampa Bay needs Atlanta to beat the New Orleans Saints to win the South. So it's as simple as that now for both teams. They sit, they wait, and they watch with bated breath as the Saints and Falcons do battle, each having a side that they will be pulling for. The Saints are riding a 4-game win streak. The Falcons have played some renewed football. They're riding a 3-game win streak of their own. That should be a lot of fun. But let's talk about tonight's game. Bucs get it done 16-14. Sloppy affair. Every time the Carolina Panthers play in a football game, I swear it feels like it rains. Any game that's a meaningful Carolina Panthers football game, it seems like it rains. It was raining. It felt like when these two teams battled about a month ago, roughly 3 weeks ago or so, it was definitely raining when they played the Rams. Felt like it was raining when they played Seattle, and it was raining again tonight. Tampa Bay, I thought, had every opportunity to win this game going away. They started off fast, 10-0. Baker threw a back-breaking pick. I've said this already. I would prefer Carolina to be the team that represents this division and has the home playoff game, strictly because I know what Tampa Bay is at this point of the season this year. If this were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from last year, Baker's playing at an MVP caliber level, the offense is humming, and the defense is opportunistic, creating turnovers, etc. I would like to see Tampa in the mix, but that's not what this team is. Baker's turning it over. The run game is kind of hit or miss. The defense isn't that good, and so I don't think they're going to be much of a challenge for anyone in that first. And again, not that Carolina is a world beater or anything like that. I just trust their defense more than I trust Tampa's defense. That's really what it boils down to, is Carolina's defense is going to keep them in a game against a team that is superior to them and going to give them a shot. And if they can force some turnovers, like the one that they forced today by Roseboom, who got them back in the game when they were down 10-0, they're going to have a shot in a playoff game against a team who will be better than them. Whereas Tampa doesn't feel like this offense is going to get going. I've been waiting for Baker and this offense to pick it up, for them to figure it out. They've got all their stuff back now. We kept making excuses. Oh, when Mike Evans comes back. Oh, when Godwin comes back. Oh, when they get healthy. Oh, when McMillan comes back. Oh, when Bucky comes back. Oh, this offensive line gets healthy. Oh, and everything is starting to fall into place. All of these guys are back now, and this offense still looks pedestrian to me. And so you can't count on this defense. You can't count on this defense. Who thought that if Carolina got it back, if they had gotten that stop, and also, who didn't see a boot coming on that 3rd and 4? If I were the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers Evero. Ejiro Evero. I would have told my edge there, the rookie, you come off that edge screaming straight at Baker Mayfield. Don't think about run. If it ends up being a run and they hit it backside where you were supposed to be, it's on me. I'll take the blame. You go off that edge. You don't pay attention to run. You go after Baker because this is going to be a boot. And because that edge rusher hesitated, then let beat him outside and break contain, he was able to easily get it to the tight end and get the first down. Cade Otton, game, set, match. God bless and good night. I knew bootleg. They didn't want to give the ball back to Carolina's offense. They didn't want to do that. And they didn't trust their defense to get a stop. All Carolina would have needed was a field goal. Tampa Bay in this game had opportunities to run and hide. They couldn't do it. Baker had an opportunity early in the game, wide open, Durham Smythe, end zone. Now, that's a tough play. He's rolling to his right. He stops, he plants, he looks, he surveys, and then he spots an open Durham Smythe back corner of the end zone all the way on the opposite side of the field. So him missing that throw is understandable. Smythe could have made a better attempt at catching it. It was wet and nasty, so it went right through his hands. But you'd love to see Baker hit that throw. It would have put him up 14-0. And at that point, Carolina would have been in some trouble because you knew they weren't going to score a boatload of points tonight. But settling for a field goal there kept the game within reach. Carolina had every opportunity to make this thing a ball game. They missed a field goal early. They had the fumble. They had the interception on a drive that was promising right before halftime. Carolina could have been in this game because Tampa Bay refused to put them away. At 10-0, this game should have been done. And then Bake throws the interception, gives Carolina life. They score a touchdown. Now you got yourself a ball game. And that's what I worry about with this Tampa Bay team is that Baker's been turning it over uncharacteristically this season. And I don't think that's going to change when you get into the postseason. Things get magnified in the postseason. They don't necessarily change. They just become magnified. So Bake's struggles this season, especially the second half of this season, have been documented. And I don't see that changing once you get to the postseason, if they get to the postseason. They were able to run the football, I thought, effectively enough today. Bucky Irvin, I think, probably exceeded 80 yards rushing tonight. I don't know why they refused to give the football to Rachaad White. I know they love Bucky. Bucky's their guy, but I feel like Rachaad should get more opportunities to touch the football, but that's just me. I thought that they did a good job of spreading the ball around. Cade Otton makes such a huge difference in this offense. When he's not in the offense, they're a different team offensively. He opens things up for them. Obviously, they got all the weapons in the world on the outside with Mike Evans and McMillan and Abuka and Godwin. They can throw it to anybody, right? Hell, I'd even name Johnson, right? Tez Johnson. They got so many guys to get the football to. But it's Otton that I think really makes this thing go because him inside, he's the last guy you're really thinking about. When I just named 5 receivers, he's the last guy you're thinking about. They also can throw it to their backside of the backfield, and then Otton gets you, right? And I think he was their leading receiver today, if I'm not mistaken, about 7 catches, probably over 60-some-odd yards. Otton was huge tonight. And got his first touchdown of the season, which is strange, coincidentally enough, that he has not had a touchdown or hadn't had a touchdown until the one on the opening possession. And it makes sense. It's very fitting that he had the most receptions in the league this season without a touchdown because it just felt like he should have had a touchdown. Baker goes to him so often, felt like he had already touched pay dirt, but he had not. Other guys, we saw what Devin Culp had a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons on a Thursday night a few weeks ago. Even he's touched pay dirt, and Cade Otton hadn't until the opening possession. Good for him. But ultimately, the Bucs defense made enough plays. I think the weather definitely aided them tonight in their quest to win this game and force a meaningful tilt with the Falcons and Saints tomorrow. But this Bucs defense did just enough. They really were stout against the run, which is what we've come to know and love about Tampa Bay. If nothing else, the Buccaneers are going to be able to stop the run. If they can't do anything else with Big Vita Vea in the middle of that defense, they're going to be able to stop the run. They did that effectively tonight, really put Carolina behind the sticks, forced Bryce Young to have to beat them. And that was going to be tough, especially in this weather. The Panthers' pass game is already not dynamic as is. I think we heard Dan Orlovsky during the telecast talk about Bryce Young throwing the ball down the field 15 yards or longer only 11 times this season prior to the fourth down completion to Tet when the game was on the line there at the end. So they don't push the ball vertically. So it was already going to be tough for them to navigate, the field through the pass game. They needed to be able to lean on the run. When they've been at their best this season, they've gotten big games from Rico Dowdle and that rushing attack. It wasn't going to happen today against that Tampa Bay front. And once they put the onus on Bryce Young to win the game, you saw how things went for the Buccaneers defensively and conversely for the Panthers offensively. So if nothing else, that worked to perfection. It forced Bryce Young to have to go win the game on his right arm, and he just wasn't prepared to do that, especially in this inclement weather. So I thought the weather really affected Carolina more so than it did Tampa Bay, because Carolina needed to be able to run the football, weren't going to be able to do it. So they were going to have to lean on a pass game that was already lackluster. And now you got to do it in the rain. Makes it that much tougher for you to execute. So shout out to the Bucs for fighting, keep their playoff hopes alive. Now they need some help. They need the Falcons and Kirk Cousins to win tomorrow at home to stop a red hot New Orleans Saints team from making it 5 straight to end the season. And if you're Carolina, you've had a hell of a season. No one expected you to be here, but here you are at 8-9 with a shot. You're going to need some help now. You're going to need Tyler Shuck to go and be clutch tomorrow. But ultimately, you've done your part now, right? You've done your part. And you haven't done your part. You've put yourself in a position. Could have done this yourself. Now you need help. A wise man once told me, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. You had a chance to do it yourself. You didn't. Shout out to Tampa Bay for making sure that this thing didn't end today. Buccaneers had ample opportunities this season. If they had just beaten Atlanta a few weeks ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation. They would be NFC South champions right now as we speak. But they've had ample opportunities this year as well. They haven't gotten it done. They couldn't beat New Orleans at home. And so here we are talking about a division winner. No matter what happens, we're going to get a sub-500 division winner in the NFC South. Someone's winning this division at 8-9 this season. That's pretty nasty work. If you're Carolina, again, ample opportunities in this game. After the interception, it got off to a slow start. Looked like you were going to get blown out of this game. You want to blame the officiating, go right ahead. I thought there were some terrible calls that didn't go in the favor of Carolina, including a big one on the Tet pass interference, which I just thought was a bogus call. First of all, let me say this while I'm on the subject matter. This was ESPN's B Squad, right? We all know anytime they've got a doubleheader, they feature the B Squad, which is Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, and Chris Fowler, right? I didn't know they also had to come with a B Squad NFL rules analyst, their in-house guy. So they had a B Squad rules analyst. He was horrible. He packed his ass up. He sounded like he still works for the NFL and that he works for the officiating crew, and that every call they made, it didn't matter how egregious the call was, he somehow tried to justify the shit. And that's a great call by the officials. Shut your dumb ass up. Get him, pack his ass up. So he absolutely was just nauseating to listen to tonight. He was a plant. You can't convince me he wasn't a plant. Anyway, the tech play was not pass interference. That was bogus. I do think that was a backwards pass that Bryce Young threw, but they bungled it on the field, and the call was the ball went out of bounds. No, it didn't. Rico Dowdle picked it up. You blew the whistle. What are you talking about? The ball was lateraled out of bounds. Whatever. It was a rough night for the officials, and a lot of those calls hurt Carolina. But I always tell you, you can't blame the officials for a loss. The Panthers lost this game on their own. Bryce Young threw an egregious interception before the half. The Panthers missed a field goal to start the second half. Rico Dowdle tried to lateral and flea flicker a run when you're inside the 30. Who does a flea flicker inside the 30? Who does that? What are you flea flickering to? That's usually a play that's run to do one of two things: get a chunk play, or we've seen this probably over the last 5 years. Teams try to get creative and throw a screen off of a flea flicker, but why? 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 What are you doing? Carolina had ample opportunities to put themselves in a position to make this a game that I wanted to see what Tampa Bay would do with game pressure on them for more than one possession. We saw them F it up against Atlanta when game pressure was applied to them. I thought if you applied game pressure to them sooner, because we saw what happened in Carolina. When you applied game pressure, Baker Mayfield threw a pick. Had you applied enough game pressure for more than just one possession, all you forced Baker Mayfield to do was make one throw. That's it. One simple bootleg toss to his tight end 3 yards away from him. It wasn't hard. I wanted to see what would have happened if you put Baker Mayfield and this Buccaneers team in a tough spot. Game pressure with about 7 minutes to go. You could have done that if not for that stupid play call. Rico Dowdle, wet field, slips, tries to toss it back. He probably should have just ate that and said, you know what? No reason for me to try to toss this football backwards. But he did, and it cost them dearly. Because all you needed in that position was a field goal. Now it's a one-possession game. You got all three of your timeouts, and we're going to see if Baker can navigate this correctly. Instead, you allowed them to stay comfortably ahead by 9 points, put them in a position where this game was pretty much out of reach. And then you allowed them, you compounded matters by then, after the fumble, not getting stops, allowed them to really eat up a ton of the clock in the fourth quarter. And you got the block kick, but, you know, you still had to go the length of the field. You ultimately did that, but it left you with basically one shot to get a stop. You didn't, you lose the game. Valiant effort by your defense. They fought and kept you in this game, especially after it was 10-0. This felt like an ass whooping on the horizon. And then Roseboom gets the interception, and boom, you're just back in this game just like that. And the defense really kept you afloat from that point forward. But the offense just didn't make enough plays. And I wanted to see them establish the run game a little bit better. I get it, Tampa's dynamic. You got to find a way to take some of that pressure off of Bryce Young. He can't be dropping back. Like, they were in the gun, and it felt like they just stopped trying to run the ball. And I get it, because what you didn't want to do is be in second and forever. But, you know, just didn't feel like they did a good enough job of manufacturing offense on the early downs. So they constantly felt like they were in third and longs. And the only time they had success on early downs was if they somehow got a good run on first down, which was very infrequent, or they had like a little check down or something to the tight end early. But outside of that, they constantly felt like they were in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 7s. And that's just not where this Panthers offense is at their best. So we'll see what happens. Panthers have had a tremendous season. They're early. They got to the party early. They weren't supposed to be 8-9 with a chance to win the division in 2025, now 26. But here they are. If they don't get it done They have no one to blame but themselves. They had an opportunity here, but they also can look at the positives of this season. Nobody expected them to be here. No one wants to hear the whole house money argument. You had a chance. You want to win. You got to this point. You want to be in the postseason. I hope they get in, but ultimately, you had your shot in this game. And too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. So, this Seattle 49ers game is about to get kicked off. Let's get a word from our sponsor. I'll come back on the other side and give you a quick preview for that game, and then I'll get you guys out of here.
Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips, play in fantasy leagues, and win real money on pick contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper.
Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. They had another big day on the app. 100% boost for the NBA, 100% boost for college basketball. If you're not on the Sleeper app, you are missing out on an opportunity to go out and get some money. So let me correct this. Adam Schefter had it all effed up, and this is a complicated situation, but the Bucs need the Saints to win, not the Falcons. The Bucs need the Saints to win. The Panthers need the Falcons to win. So I think I had it backwards because I was reading Adam Schefter's tweet, but Adam's got the shit backwards. Because I remember the sideline reporter in the game talking about Brown, the defensive tackle for Carolina, saying, I don't want to be rooting for the Falcons. We want to take care of this shit ourselves. And he said, I don't want to be rooting for the damn Falcons. She quoted him, and then they was like, hey, swear jar. So the Saints, the Panthers need the Falcons to win. The Bucs need the Saints to win. Okay. So I think I had it backwards earlier. It's the other way around. So either way, Falcons, I think, are going to win that game. They're at home. Doesn't mean a damn thing, as we've seen in this division this season. Your home field advantage means nothing. You know, Atlanta went into Tampa and won. New Orleans went into Tampa and won. Tampa went into Atlanta and won. Tampa went into New Orleans and won. Carolina, Carolina won at home against Tampa, but Saints went into Carolina and won. So this means nothing. The Saints have won on the road in the division in both tries this season. They're looking to make it 3 for 3 on the road. And if they do that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be going to the postseason for the 4th straight year? Maybe 5th straight year under Todd Bowles as the NFC South champions. Like, nobody talks about that. Everybody's always looking to get rid of Todd Bowles. But every time you look up and look, it may be on some Mike Tomlin shit where you don't really think Tampa has a shot to do anything once they get there, but they're getting there every goddamn year, and they're usually winning their division. They win it again, Bowles will be in there again. So, anyway, I digress. So, we got a dandy of a football game tonight. Now, Chris Fowler scared me a bit because he said that there may be some rain in the forecast. Keep that rain shit away from me, man. I had enough of it in this first game. I want clear skies. I want good football. I don't want no rain. I don't want nothing effing up this game, mucking it up. Let me just see two teams go out, battling it out in a weatherless impacted game, basically. Don't want the weather to be a factor here. I just want to see what these two teams can do on a level playing field. Now, with that said, here's the key to the game. Can the 49ers affect Sam Darnold. The 49ers have the worst pass rush in the entire National Football League by a mile. They don't get to the quarterback. They don't generate pressure unless they blitz. Their defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, doesn't like to blitz. He likes to rush and play coverage behind it. They can't rush this year because of all the injuries. And thus, Sam Darnold is dangerous. We can talk all the shit we want about Sam Darnold. You give him time, he will carve your ass up. Now, you get pressure on Darnold, and he's still the same Sam seeing ghost Darnold that we've all come to know and love. And if you put pressure on him, he'll turn the bitch over. We've watched him do it this season. You don't get pressure on him. He gets comfortable. He will light you up like a Christmas tree. And that's what could happen tonight. And this is a really good Seattle defense. Brock Purdy has been on a tear the last 3 weeks in particular. If that is to continue without Trent Williams, mind you, they're going to have to be able to run the ball. Seattle is one of the better run defenses in the league. And this is going to be really interesting because if they can't get to Darnold and he gets comfortable, Seattle's going to win this game based off of the way that their defense can affect the game. And if Darnold's dealing, they're going to win. But if San Francisco is able to neutralize Seattle's defense and Brock Purdy continues to ball like we've seen over the last 3 weeks, and then somehow they're able to get to Darnold, neutralize the run game, get to Darnold and make him uncomfortable, 49ers are going to win, and all roads to the Super Bowl, which is in Santa Clara this year, go through San Francisco and the 49ers. This is the thing. I don't want to see the Seahawks with the number 1 seed because they're not going to do anything with it. They'll get the number 1 seed. They haven't been a good home team. If you're a Seahawks fan, you're actually more comfortable being on the road in this game because that's when you've been at your best this season, on the road. You've been a subpar, average at best home team this year. You've been excellent on the road. You should feel right at home in this road game. And if you get home field advantage, someone's going to snuff you out first game after the bye in the divisional round. If I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, I actually don't want to win this game. I know that sounds crazy. See, I think San Francisco could do more with the bye week, personally. They could definitely use it, get some guys healthy. No Ricky Pearsall, no Trent Williams tonight. Could definitely use the bye week to get those guys healthy. But Seattle is dangerous. I got San Francisco winning this game, but I could easily see how Seattle could win this game. They don't get to Sam Darnold, and that Seahawks defense gets to Brock Purdy. It's a long night because I don't think McCaffrey's getting his shit off tonight. Not as a runner, at least. Maybe out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Juan Gotti talking sports. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Juan Gotti talking sports writes, 3rd and 5 stop or made field goal from the $200. Thanks, Carolina. Yeah. I needed 5 rush yards from Rico Dowdle. That's it. So I know your pain. And they decided to run some bullshit-ass flea flicker nonsense. So, look, I share your pain. I'll even give you another heartbreaking story. I watched a guy last night that plays for my favorite team miss a free throw that cost me $2,798. One free throw. You want to talk about heartbreak? There you go. So, anyway, go enjoy this football game. It should be a ton of fun. I will be back to break it down at its conclusion. And we will have our number 1 seed in the NFC. We will have our 5th seed in the NFC. We will pretty much have the playoffs kind of set after this game. Obviously, we don't know who the 2 seed will be. That will be determined tomorrow. But ultimately, the 2 and 3 seeds will be determined tomorrow. We know the 4 seed is coming from the NFC South, whoever wins that division. The 5 seed is the loser of this game. The 6 seed is going to be the Rams. And the 7 seed is going to be the Green Bay Packers. So for all intents and purposes, we'll know the NFC layout after tonight's game. Should be a fun one. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys after it's done. Enjoy the festivities. Hopefully this game lives up to the hype. God bless. Good night.